Welcome to another episode of Lisa Ann's Backstage Convos. I am your host, Lisa Ann, excited to be sitting here right now at Sapphire 39 with tonight's feature, who will be at Sapphire Times Square. She goes to a lot of the clubs, and you're going to want to make sure you give a follow. It is Hime Marie. Hime, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Hime, first I have to ask you, everybody's going to want to know. Now, your name kind of transports me to somewhere exotic and something very different than like Lisa Ann's, kind of bland. It's just a name. And if a name like yours is explained properly, and then I think there's a lot more less mispronunciations and misunderstandings. So whether it's short and sweet or big and silly, how did you come up with Hime Marie and the spelling of it? Emphasize that so we make sure everyone has the right addresses on social media.
Yeah, so it's a bit more of a silly story more than anything. So Hime actually means princess in Japanese. And when I first started in the industry, I started as a cam girl. So I wanted something just very fun and cute to have as a stage name. So I thought Hime Marie, oh, it's cute, it's Japanese, it's very fun and flirty. I only thought getting into the industry, I would only shoot maybe a few scenes. I thought, I just want a handful of scenes. And, 6-7 years later, I've shot close to like 400 with that stage name, Hime Marie. So it's just kind of stuck. But it's very cute and it's fun. I will say I've kind of outgrown it. But you know what? I made my bed, so I have to lay in it now.
Well, I mean, we had the artist formerly known as Prince. We've got Kanye now as Ye. I mean, you could always, shorten it. At this point in your career, you can do whatever you want with it. But I think it's neat because that princess, knowing that it means princess in Japanese, and it sticks with you, and it is sweet. And I can imagine somebody then using it as a term of endearment to someone else in their life. And that's kind of what you were hoping.
Yeah, that is what I was hoping. Yeah, something just very cute and fun.
Hime, when did you make the transition from being a cam model to realizing that you wanted to grow your brand and grow yourself in this space?
So this is kind of a funny story as well. I was on Chatterbait for just getting started, maybe 3 or 4 months, and they reached out to me and asked, hey, would you like to go to an Exotica convention? This is when they were still doing it in Denver.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, absolutely. And that was my first taste of like really meeting actual porn stars and kind of seeing what the porn world was really like. And that's where I met my first agent, although he wasn't at the time. And we were at an after party and we were both kind of drunk. And I didn't understand. He approached me what he was trying to say. Kind of, if you would love to, I would love to have you come down to Florida and, work for me. I've got all these things lined up. I've seen you on Chatterbait. You're amazing. And I didn't quite get what he was saying. And I said, what do you mean companies to work for? And he finally said, porn. I think you'd be great at shooting porn. And I was so taken aback by the fact he said that. Like, I never, why would I do that? That's gross. And so was very not super keen on it at first, but some months went by and he reached out to me later on Twitter and said, hey, I think we both got off on the really wrong foot there, but these offers are still on the table if you want to take advantage of them. And so at that point, I had already done like a boy-girl stream on Chatterbait. So I figured
is similar to doing a scene. You're on the internet. It's different
porn.
because it's live, but it actually goes on the archive in the library as well. So it is a scene that somebody can go up and search as a scene. Yeah.
Yeah. So I figured, well, I've kind of done softcore or amateur porn at this point already. So yeah, and my initial mindset was, well, I'm just going to try a few scenes. I might do like 3 or 4, see if I like it. And you know how that goes. Yeah.
Where were you living then?
Then I was living in Arizona.
So you were living in Arizona. You take your first trip to Florida because that's where you were going to do most of the shooting from the jump. And then it kind of probably came in and realized this is going to rearrange my life a little bit because I'd like to live somewhere closer to shoot more often. And also, it's great that you went to an Exotica with Chatterbait and got to meet so many of us because I think feeling like part of a community also makes you understand a different reason to do it as well because you're like, it can be very lonely just camming. because you don't really meet the rest of the community unless you do go to a trade show.
Yes.
But in the industry, we're a lot closer and we have more time to get together and we see each other on set. So you probably felt like, now I got to move.
Yeah, absolutely. I really loved everyone that I met at the convention, and I met, porn stars that I had watched and like idolized as well. So it was a very trippy and unique experience to be like, wow, this person that I've watched and masturbated to is right in front of me right now. And it's like, it's such a crazy experience.
And from going from camming to shooting and realizing that it was a good fit for you, you were finding your groove, probably piquing all of your sexual curiosity. When and who inspired you to get out on the road as a feature dancer? Because in my opinion, feature dancing is one of the greatest things that you can do for your fan base, for yourself. It's creative, it's expressive, it's independent, and it's kind of hard work. And I enjoy something that's a little gritty sometimes. What made you decide to start feature dancing?
Yes, feature dancing is amazing. It's been so much fun so far. It was actually my PR person gave me the offer and said, hey, I think this would be something really great for you to do since you've been in the industry a while. You kind of have a name built for yourself now. And I decided to take advantage of it because I'm really trying to cut back on the amount of shoots that I do because, I've been doing it for 7 years. You can only do so much before you've done everything. And yeah, I just really wanted something different, a bit more expressive to do, and feature dancing's really delivered that for me.
Yeah, and it takes you to the next level. You're interacting directly with your fans. And also, like, it is such a treat to go to all these different places in the U.S.
It's a lot of fun.
These random small towns and eat at, like, their favorite restaurant or, like, see that one place that's really popular. It's just something different. I understand the wanting to slow down. Shooting is hard on your body.
It's very hard.
And also, you're more excited to do it when you're not doing it all the time.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely made the shoots that I do take much more of that bright eye, bushy tail, like raring and ready to go experience, for sure.
Top 5 favorite scenes. Can you name them?
Well, I can definitely name the top one. The number one scene that's my absolute favorite that I did was, I think last year I shot it. It was with Owen Gray and Small Hands. It was a DP, and I think what made it so special is that I convinced them to kiss in the middle of it. And that was a great moment for me. Let me think.
They work really well together.
They are so well together.
When you're doing a DP, if they're a team, it's so easy. If they're
so
not,
hot.
It's so difficult. Because it's your body that has to be going in the different directions.
Yes.
Okay, that's a great scene. Everybody's going to want to look up.
It's a great scene. I don't know if I can name any other top scenes.
But you shoot for everyone.
That's the one that sticks out in my mind. Yeah, I do. I've shot for almost every major company at this point.
And do you also shoot for your own content, your own OnlyFans, any other platforms?
Yes, of course. I feel like you have to as a performer in this climate for sure.
And also, it gives you a different way to do things, right? Like, sometimes it's just the casual thing of taking a shower or something so simple, like a 5-minute ordeal instead of a whole day thing.
Yeah.
And your fans are just as happy because they've gotten something so organic.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at what my fans do tend to like. And sometimes some of my most popular streams are when I'm just cooking something naked. And it makes them feel like, oh, my hot girlfriend is making me a nice dinner right now.
What do you like to cook?
Everything.
Oh, we've got a cook in the house.
I love cooking. I'm really big on making pastas and like stews and anything that I can bake very slowly for a long period of time.
And that is a great leftover as well, right? All of those things. Because when you're on the road, you're trying to fill your fridge for like 3-4 days in between gigs. You're coming and going, but you want to have good food when you get home, right?
Absolutely.
At first, it's fun to eat out. And then by like day 3 of eating out, you're just like, I want to make myself something.
Absolutely. Yes.
Other than cooking, what do you like to do with your free time?
With my free time, I like to read. I'm actually going to start going to school, so I'm really excited for that. That's definitely going to take up a lot of my free time. But I like to read, I like to hike, very just simple things that would make me a normal human being like everyone else.
Yep. Okay, going back to school for what?
I'm going to study sociology with an emphasis in religion, and it's really more for my own mental stimulation than anything because I've been surrounded by porn for 7 years. I just kind of need something a little different for me.
You want to just balance this out. And are you looking into how were you raised? Were you raised religious?
Yes.
So then you went through this complete transformation over
Yes.
here and you're looking for this kind of balance, but maybe not going back to as extreme.
No. I definitely want to study religion from a non-religious perspective. I guess finding out as to what leads people to believe what they do believe.
That's a fascinating thing to study, right? And how whatever it is that they believe in, it works for them, right?
Yes.
Like if you know the blue zones, places in the world where people live to be over 100 years old, one of the top 3 factors is faith. And whatever it is their faith is in, it's so strong and it gives them this purpose, this mission. And it is pretty fascinating because different cultures have so many different, what fascinates me even more is their superstitions.
Yes. Yeah, it's very interesting. And that's a big reason why I want to study religion, because you learn just so much about the world in general. When you study religion, you learn about history, art history, and, the studies of different cultures as well.
Will you do these classes online or will you go on campus?
I'm going to go on campus because I just need to get out of my house, get there, and just kind of do something with my time. And obviously, I'm not going to be looking like this when I go to school. I'm definitely going to be dressing down quite a bit, but we'll see. There's still a good chance I'm probably going to get recognized on campus.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how often do you get recognized?
So I don't get recognized too often. I definitely get the look where people give me that look. They do a double take, maybe a triple take, maybe a quadruple take, and they kind of know. Or I have people approach me and say, "You look so familiar. I've seen you from somewhere." And I really think they want to hear the words come out of my own mouth.
Yeah.
But I usually never give them that satisfaction. I just say, I just have one of those faces, I guess. However, my partner, he's Kyle Mason. He gets recognized all the time.
That's so funny because when I'm out with Joanna and Small Hands, everyone recognizes Small Hands. Like and men and women, and especially women, like roll up on, I'm like, he is so popular.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think there's something about them feeling more comfortable approaching a man who does porn, because it's especially with other men, it's kind of, they have this attitude of like, yeah, bro, what you do is
you're
so
in the club,
cool.
You're so cool.
But there's this sense of shame with associating with like a strumpet like me.
Women. Yeah,
so that's kind of shitty, but that's just something I noticed.
It's true, but I think this is going to be interesting for you because getting recognized is one thing, but getting recognized in the specifics of these classes, you might end up being a speaker in some of these classes give your perspective on things that you've seen and felt through the different people you've met in the industry.
For sure. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And my public speaking class, I just think, oh, I got this in a bag.
No doubt.
The whole world has seen the inside of my butthole already. So public speaking, not a problem here.
I tell everyone, once you can do a gangbang, you don't even need to worry about your resume. You've done so much, okay?
Yeah.
Team building, you've kept everybody comfortable, you've done all the logistics, all of it. It's one of those things.
Yes.
But I think this is great. This is going to be something that really gets you in a new space. And I love that you said you want to go out and do it because there's something about putting yourself in the comfy clothes, going to the environment, being part of it, something you haven't done before in your life, gone to college.
I did go to college, but definitely I did not really take it very seriously as I should have. I was young, and I think that's the good thing about going back to college when I'm 28, 29 is it's a completely different perspective. I'm a bit more grown. I'm a bit more appreciative of the material that I'm learning, and I'm also not really going to be affected by a professor's bias necessarily on anything because I have my
you've
own
grown
opinions.
past that. Yeah, that's a different. It's so tough that young people have to be forced to go to college so young and figure everything out so quickly and not really know yet, haven't met enough people to see different walks of life and be that curious.
Yes.
How often are you on the road feature dancing?
So this year it's been quite a bit. I would say this is probably my 4th or 5th this year.
So you're doing about one a month or one every 3 weeks?
I would say close to one a month.
Where are your favorite cities you've gone so far?
You know what? I actually really loved feature dancing in Sacramento. That was a lot of
the Gold
fun.
Club, right?
The Gold Club.
Yep.
It was so much fun. It was such a great environment. I really had a great time. I made a lot of money,
and they're
helps.
trained because that club has features so regularly. It's the customers are trained, the girls are trained, everybody knows what's happening.
Yeah.
There's no awkward what are you doing here?
Yeah, it was great. I really like dancing there, but also I really like Las Vegas, dancing in my new hometown now. That was a lot of fun as well.
Yeah,
Very
the
lucrative
Sapphire
too.
in Las Vegas is unbelievable. There's just beautiful places like Huntsville, Alabama. There's a great club. Pittsburgh, there's some good clubs. Like small cities where you get there and you have the afternoon and you just walk around.
Just explore.
Yeah, and to live the life that somebody you're just there. You know what I mean? This is different because you come into New York for a quick trip, right? But you did get in and enjoy the city. So what do you like to do when you're in New York?
Well, I wish that I had my partner with me because I don't really like walking around by myself.
Okay.
But yesterday I got into town, I got myself ready, I went on another podcast. And then after that was done, I kind of just walked around Times Square for a little bit. I went and I got a delicious bowl of ramen, some iced tea, and then I went back to my room and just relaxed. And yeah, it's really interesting just being in the chaos of it all.
It is, and it's
It
one of
feels
the things
surreal.
like you can just walk around in this city. You can blend in very well, right?
Yes.
Because there's so much going on around you. But you can also get lost in it and just wander and you're people watching. You don't even have to have a mission. And then you stumble across ramen or something you want to eat. You're like, okay, I guess this is where I'm going to stop. That's what I love about the city.
It's basically what happened.
So free to just be like, I don't have any plans. I know I'll be gone for a couple of hours, but I'm gonna be entertained. I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think it was nice. I definitely tried to blend in with the crowd so I wasn't approached by anyone trying to sell me anything. I wore all black and just kind of acted as if I had a destination in mind I needed to go, and thankfully no one bothered me because I don't think I looked like the typical tourist in like sneakers with a camera, you know.
Yeah, all of that, and a fanny pouch and everything
Yes,
else. If somebody were to recognize you, Princess, do you mind if I call you Princess?
Oh, not at
That's what
all.
we should call you, since that's what your name
my gosh,
means.
don't make me here. That's so sweet.
If someone were to approach you, how is the right way to do it?
If they recognized me,
Yeah.
first of all, approach me and say, hey, are you Hime Marie? I don't like when they play these games of, do I know you? Do I recognize you? Like, just say you know me.
Yep.
And that gives me a sense of like validation and appreciation. Like, oh, you've seen my work before. That's awesome. Just say, hey, are you Hime Marie? I'm a fan of your work. Can we take a quick picture together? I think that's the right way to do it.
And that was the perfect description you all got right there.
Yeah.
How about on social media, your platforms where they can come and say, hello, I'm going to come into Times Square Sapphire to see you, and I'm going to get my photo there. What's your Insta, Twitter, all your accounts?
So my Twitter, I guess it's called X now.
I never
It's
remember
not-
this. I know.
Me either, me. So X is Hime X Marie. That's HimeXMarie. And on Instagram, I am corndog_princess.
Let's talk about that for a
Okay.
moment. Do you love corn dogs?
I do. I do. Not as much
You
as
do
you would
not
think.
look like you ever ate a corn dog in your beautiful life. Your body is so perfect. They are fun, though.
They are fun. So the corn dog princess thing that's actually my Instagram account from high school, because anything associated with the name Hime Marie attached to it just was getting nuked by Instagram.
Yep.
So in my mind, I had this weird justification of like, well, I'm just going to use this old Instagram account. It's not linked to my name in any way, and it's been around for over a decade, so it must be like grandfathered in the Instagram system, and maybe they will just not ban me. And hey, nothing's happened so far.
Knock on wood. That's fantastic because it's frustrating. It's
Very.
especially frustrating where you see other people doing things and you're like, okay, so if you're not in the adult space and you use OF on your Instagram, it's okay. But if we were be promoting an OF on our Instagram, it would not be okay. We really got to straighten this out. It doesn't seem fair.
It's really not fair, and sometimes I see some people just showing straight up nipples, or just you could clearly see the outline
Yep.
of their cooch, and I just show like my side profile with a little bit of my butt, and that gives me a warning. So
Well, your butt is that magical. That's really
thank
what it
you.
is. Hime.
That's the way I'd like to think about it.
That's what I would like
other
to think
than them
about
just
it.
bullying me, because that's how it feels.
Now, will I get to see you at other Exoticas moving forward?
Yes, I'm definitely going to be at New Jersey this
Okay.
year, the best one.
Will you be at Chatterbait or will you be at another booth?
I'm almost always at the Chatterbait booth.
Perfect. You're easy
so-
to find. You're centrally
Yeah.
located. I'll make sure I stop by and say hi. They're another great opportunity
They're great.
to meet your fans and also to connect with all the other performers in the industry, meet people that maybe you want to share content with. I just find them to be such a fun, like, I call them porno summer camp, because when we're not at the trade show, we're hanging out with each other. And
Yeah.
even though Miami's a smaller show, and it's got a weird kind of hotel setup, it's the most fun show that we do because there's not as much to do. So everybody just hangs out.
Yeah, Miami is fun, except I almost got struck by lightning last time I was there, so that really traumatized me. From
I
being
can
there.
get that. We don't want anything to happen to our princess. No. Hime Marie, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
here
you so
today.
much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Make sure you follow Hime. Make sure you come and see Hime when she is featuring at any location of Sapphire, New York City, Times Square, 60th or 39th, as well as the Las Vegas location, which is her home location. And for all of you, stay on that Sapphire website so you see all the promotions, all the things going on at different locations. My wine, Lisa by Lisa Ann, is sold at all the New York locations. So go in and get yourself a glass and tell them I sent you. Thank you for joining us for an all-new episode of Lisa Ann's Backstage Convos.